Well, so right now we're under 3 weeks to go from the starter, and we are we just finished up practice 11, so we will scrimmage tomorrow and practice 12, and then also tomorrow marks the first day that classes begin. So our schedule will be altered, and our time will be a little bit heavier now because we're going to be starting classes. But I am very, very happy about the progress that we've had during camp. We got started. They reported on the 4th. We got started on the 5th. I like where we are right now from a physicality standpoint. I like where we are from a speed standpoint, and it's we are looking forward to hitting somebody besides ourselves, obviously. But these next 2.5 to 3 weeks that we have, we need them, and so we're going to take advantage of every day here. We're healthy right now, and I don't think that we've had any negative surprises. So camp is on schedule. It's on point right now, and I think the staff and the players have some camaraderie that we were lacking last year, and I'm excited about where we're headed the second half of camp.
Go ahead and start with questions from you guys whenever you're ready. Start with Carlos.
Hey, Coach, good to see you. Just wanted to get some thoughts on some of the positional battles you have in camp that may present a challenge for you when you're ready to release that first two deep ahead of Troy.
You know, there's the luxury this year of having, Carlos, more depth. And so, you know, the old adage, iron sharpens iron, there's a lot of that going on in Huntsville right now. And we are happy to enjoy the luxury of having more depth than maybe a year ago. And so that is going on in just about all of our rooms. I would tell you that in every positional room on offense and defense, we're rolling through multiple guys. And really in the next 3 or 4 days, we will start honing in on a true first group on both sides of the ball based on production. And you'll start, I think, to see some of that first team, second team stuff shake out where we're just not rolling through, 18 to 22 guys. If there's a position group that you have specifically want any information about, just let me know and I'll elaborate on it.
And I can't find the hand raise function, so I'm just gonna jump in, I guess.
Just go for it. You're good.
I'm just curious. Then over the spring, you talked about kind of the defensive back room being tall and having size. Just what have you seen from that group through these couple weeks?
Well, we are longer. We're running better. We wanted to be a little bit rangier at corner, and we've done that through recruiting. It's a battle every day for our receivers, which is good because there's some good competition between those two rooms. It will help us, I think, get in front of some people, and we also have more depth in that room. And so instead of hoping that your top two corners stay healthy all season, we've got 4 or 5 that we're rolling through right now that give you an opportunity to keep people fresh. And so we're happy with that room. I don't know that we're ready to declare 2 starters, but you've got some considerable speed in some guys like Cottrell, and then you got some range like we do with Ish Atkins and Carlos McGee. We are a little bit different from a physicality standpoint at that position also. So happy so far with the progress in the corner room. Safety wise, we added Aaron Edwards, late addition. So he is, he's a quick study right now. We're trying to catch him up. Tyler Bailey is the probably the top veteran coming back that understands the defense more than the rest of them. And so those two kind of cap out, from veteran to the new beginner. We've got a number of guys, including Braylon Wortham, doing a good job in camp. There's probably 5 or 6 guys rolling through those 3 safety spots right now. And then I'd say one really bright spot on defense is our nickel, Chase Arnold.
Hey, Coach. Now, I guess kind of by the same token, just how close are you to kind of determining a 2 deep or just a depth chart among the wide receivers, and what have you seen from them
So at wide receiver, we have, we're trying to. I would really like Lane for one of them to just separate themselves. I think we have. We're getting a really, really good camp out of Tim Burns. Chris Reed is really just getting started for us. He's been out a few days, and then we've got 5 or 6 new members in that room. Tremendous speed improvement over last year. I think we have some playmakers in that room, and really between Elijah Kaysen and Kamari Maxwell and KBJ and Chris Reed and Tim Burns, those 5 really give us some considerable depth. And then Christian Zachary is a longer, rangier wide receiver who has really started to show up here in the last few days, and so that's going to be one of the toughest rooms, Lane, to really declare the 2 starters that run out there on opening day, opening play. But I think you're going to see a 3 or 4 person rotation at that position until somebody just establishes themselves as one of the dudes.
Get a question from Corey Hogue.
Hey, Colton, don't worry. It took me a while to find the hand raise, too. Coach, good to speak with you. I have a question regarding the jersey sponsorship announcement from yesterday, and specifically the agreement that they're traveling on the road and the content and everything. I'm interested in your role and your thoughts into what that can do for the university, and also about what it's like to give that access to the program.
Well, I think it's great from a PR standpoint. It's good from an exposure standpoint, And the truth is, it's a necessary part of what we need to do now in the football program. We need to create as many revenue streams as we can, and this is one of those avenues. And I know right now there's a team of people on both the athletic side and the university side that are trying to navigate and strategize, moving forward here. With everything and anything that we can do that we feel is within good representation of the program to try and help football and all of the sports and athletics, create some more revenue, which we all know is a major part of our lifeblood right now.
Carlos?
Coach, I think it's been quite some time since there wasn't a camp where there wasn't a quarterback battle. And now that you've landed on Landon Locke, just talk about his development and working with the first team guys, and just some things you'll want to get out of him through the rest of the campaign leading up to Troy.
Sure, it's very different than a year ago, right? We had 3 potential guys that we felt like, 4 actually when we got started, that we felt like had the potential to maybe be that person. You had the incumbent in Hunter Watson and then the rest of the crew that we brought in, but it's a much different feel in the quarterback room right now. There's some continuity because we know who the starter is. Landon has done a fantastic job dating back to February. I mean, he came in here with a different attitude and more confidence. I wouldn't say renewed confidence because he's been a confident kid since I started recruiting him. He's excellent at playing within what he's capable of doing. I don't think Landon really ever tries to do something he's not capable of. I had the pleasure of coaching his brother Braden at Wisconsin, and in a lot of ways they're 2 different personalities, but they're 2 obsessed students of the game, and I'm able to enjoy that benefit from both of them. So to be able to really get to a point where I'm almost collaborating with Landon, we discuss plays and collaborate on some things that we want to do offensively because of his knowledge of the game, both defensively and from an offensive strategy standpoint. So that allows me to have some time to go develop the rest of the room. So we've got DJ Bailey back, and he's competing. We've got Brett Holloway, he's competing, very athletic. And then we have Mason Holtzclaw, a very different quarterback, probably a little bit similar to the make and model of Landon Locke. And then we have our young, very talented walk-on in Sean Patel. So I am enjoying this quarterback room as much as just about any. I told them I'm having as much fun as I did when we had Sam Howell and Drake May and Jacoby Criswell all in the same room. So these guys are hungry. They want to learn They're fun to coach. They're coachable. And so we're going to try and develop the young group in there as Landon steers our offense.
Colton, congratulations on finding the hand.
Thank you. And I just wanted to ask, offensive line wise, I want to say there's only 2 guys back from last year. What have you seen from that group growing from spring and having those next 3 weeks to get ready for week 1?
So Isaac Sohn, one of those individuals that's back, has been the anchor right now, and he's about as consistent and as efficient as we have up front. And there are a lot of new faces in there, and right now we're looking at 8 or 9 guys that we like, that we think have. We're much more athletic right now. We move our feet better, and everybody in there, as Coach Bicknell will tell you, is. We've got an itemized list of what they need to get better at. But overall, as a unit, this room is improving on a daily basis. Donnell Nix has had a good camp. Brock Stukes has had a good camp. Jimmy Wallace is coming along. Carter Cotto is competing. Elijah Collins is coming along. He's gotten better in the last 4 or 5 days. And we have more than 2 returning. I mean, Zoe Bryan has had a good camp so far. Logan Cahill's had a good camp so far, but Isaac Isaac and Grayson Spann are the 2 guys that were on this team that know the system and that got some playing time, that are back right now, rotating through, with the 1s and the 2s that we feel like have been maybe the most consistent. And it's going to be Coach Bicknell's job to figure out which 5 are going to be the top 5. We are hoping to get to that magic number of 8 and maybe even 9 guys that we can roll through. And as you know from my last time here, we will play as many offensive linemen that we feel can help us contribute to winning. And so if that's 9 guys, we'll roll through 9. If it's 6, then we're going to roll through 6. So we've got 3 more weeks to try to bring 3 or 4 of them along. But as of right now, I'm very happy with the progress with Coach Bicknell and the O-line.
Corey.
Hey, Coach, I want to ask you, I know you're a couple weeks from starting the season, but when are you going to start kind of that install for Troy, especially considering they have a new offensive coordinator, which also leads to the question of how much are you watching Tarleton's game tape from the last few years to see Adam Austin's offense?
Well, I think you have to. You do your research. You want to know where a coach comes from, what he does, what does he hang his hat on, what does he like calling. And then you also have to take into account now, good coaches don't necessarily do exactly the same thing from one school to the next. It's my opinion that a really, really good coordinator is going to allow the talent to dictate what you do on offense and defense. That's what we've always done offensively. And so I've got to think that the OC at Troy right now is he's in the process, as he was during the spring, to figure out what kind of talent they have and what they can do with that group with regards to the system he runs. So we are probably a little bit more focused on what we do right now as opposed to what Troy's doing. The coaching staff has evaluated Troy from a personnel standpoint and then, also from an X's and O's standpoint, but we have not opened that stuff up to our kids yet. Our players are still focused on the process of getting better. We're going to finish laying this foundation here shortly, and then we'll turn our focus to Troy here probably within about a 2-week span from opening day.
Colton.
Yeah, I know 5 for 5 doesn't really affect training camp too much, but does that change anything for you, kind of getting some freshmen some more reps maybe, special teams guys, or just in general, does it change anything?
I don't think it'll change anything this year, but it is. I think it's a good thing for college football. I'm really hopeful, if I'm going to be transparent, that the 1-year transfer rule winds up hitting here in the near future. I think that's going to go a long way to helping stabilize college football. So that's the one that I'm really looking forward to. I think the 5 to play 5, if it's going to be clean cut, black and white with no appeals, is probably a good thing. I think anything that's black and white and is stable and is consistent along with the fact that we don't keep changing it, is a good thing for the stability of college football. And so that's an opportunity for these guys to play a little bit longer. It's an opportunity for us to develop them a little bit longer, and I think that in conjunction with a one-time transfer rule will be huge for college football. So I, like everybody else, is waiting to watch and see if that's going to get instituted.
Carlos.
Coach, forgive me if this is repetitive because I missed Conference USA Media Day. I believe that's when I found out that you'll be retaining the play calling for this fall. Just the thought process on there, was it familiarity or was it a different reason as to why you'll retain the play calling?
No, it's just how we built the staff. It's what I'm going to do. I mean, I am handling quarterbacks, and this year too is very, very different than last year. And you can wear too many hats at this job. And to be the lead fundraiser like I was last year, and then try and be the head coach and do all the other things, I wasn't able to do that. I had to lean on some other people. This year, I think because of having a competitive rev share and having a foundation laid, which I attribute to the group that we had last year. I'll forever be indebted to that group that came in and fought for our program and helped us lay the blueprint and the foundation, and that has given us the ability to really just smoothly move into this process much easier this year. And it's taken a lot of things off of my plate. I've got associate head coach right now, and Eric Raisback, who takes a good percentage of what I do. We have a de facto GM that takes a lot off my plate right now. I've got numerous assistant coaches that are handling some things at a high level that I don't have to touch, and it gives me an opportunity to be the head coach the quarterbacks, and whether or not I'm the OC or not, I will be very involved in what we do from a game planning standpoint offensively, and I will continue to call the plays in the future.
Back around to Corey.
Coach, with all this talk about the Protect College Sports Act of 2026 and whether things get passed and all these changing rules, how many challenges does that give someone in your position being the head of the football program?
This is a very interesting time in college ball. It really is. And so the more organized, the more meticulous you are, and the more everybody is, at least in our building, is able to stay in their lane and Bible up and specialize in what they have to do. We don't overlap a lot. We're going to help each other. We don't overlap a lot. Everybody has a specific role in our building. Everybody is very, very accountable. And it's a luxury for me to be able to have trust in the people that we have in our building, from strength to equipment to training, to each individual positional room. And so those are all luxuries and their advantages when I don't have to worry about every aspect of the program with regards to micromanaging anybody. And it is legitimately a unified team in the building, and we're all rowing in the same direction. And we all know where we want to go, and we're watching and seeing that process happen. And so I think we all want to make sure we take advantage of the next 3 weeks so that we put the best representation of our program on the field on September 5th. And it's there's an excitement in our building right now. There's some momentum. There's some morale. And there's a lot of people coming out of the woodwork right now with the ribbon cutting and the new stadium, and the Bearkats are returning home. I mean, there's a lot of things going on right now that are feeding this program. And I think when we all look back 2 or 3 years from now, and that's I don't mean to move ahead too far, but this program is going to look very, very different than it did last year, and even than it does now, because of the steady progress we're making from a day-to-day standpoint. I am looking forward to opening day, but I also have this vision in my mind of what we want to build here. And that takes time, and it's a process, but we are in a much better place right now than we were at this time last year. I mean, light years beyond where we were last year. And so our process is every day to find a way to get 24 hours better. And I think when we look back at this final product, we're going to be happy with what we have.
Coach, a follow-up on that. I know with the jersey deal, you've had a sponsorship deal with the athletic department announced. I'm a believer that positivity breeds positivity, and right now we're seeing a lot of positivity. You mentioned a lot of the new faces coming out of the woodwork with the new press box and all that stuff going on. How big is it to continue to build on this momentum right now?
So for me, life is about relationships, and the guys I hired are just high and very big on relationships. And in a business right now, and that's what this is, that is very quickly becoming a lot more transactional. There's still an advantage, a huge advantage to having great relationships with your players. And that is a big reason why we've made so much progress in camp. But you step off the field and you take a look at the number of people that have growing interest in our program. You know, I know there are some still sitting there waiting to see where this thing goes. And then there are some who have jumped in already. You know, and we have a lot of, there's a long list of positive injection in this program right now. So much has happened in the spring and the summer. And we want it all to impact the final product on the field. But those things really, some of that has to happen quicker than maybe we would all like. And I'm as impatient as anybody here. But I think if we all just understand this is a process and we have to let people get in and join this team from the outside in their own due time, we'll get where we want to get to. But it is. I won't lie to you. You know, we watched a student gathering the other day in the stadium. A huge turnout, a lot of positivity, a lot of excitement. Something we didn't see any of last year because we weren't even here. And I think our players sitting in a team meeting, looking out at our stadium and our field and looking at, 1,500 to 2,000 students come over that are new here to join us in the stadium to kick off this whole thing, just lets them know how important they are. And conversely, we understand how important this program is to the university. We want to represent the university. We want to win ball games. We want to excite everybody. And we want to do it in a professional way. And I think the relationships we have right now, myself, the staff, Bobby Williams, the administration, with our donors and our boosters and the people who are thinking about jumping in the pool here with us, is really at an all-time high because we're spending the time and we're doing the legwork to develop those relationships. And so we just need to go back when this media is over here. We need to go back to the office and continue what we've been doing for the last 18 months, and that's trying to find a way to get better than yesterday.